So Taylor, I know you pushed through. You got one of your first bills passed. I mean, as a first-year legislature, excuse the expression, that takes balls.
It does.
So tell me about the bill and how did that happen?
So the bill was named H128, but now a law, Act 18, which effectively banned the LGBTQ plus panic defense in the state of Vermont. And so the first time that the panic defense really came on and caught national recognition was the murder of Matthew Shepard back in 1998. And it was an unashamed killing and murder of an openly gay man. And so what we see across our nation is an increase in violence against the LGBTQ plus community, and in particular, trans women and trans women of color, to the effect that the Human Rights Commission, or Human Rights Campaign, I should say, has actually said for the past 3 years that it was the deadliest year in the United States for trans people. For the last 3 years in a row, we've only seen a growing list of violence across our nation. And so I think what is most astounding in the state of Vermont is that we're also in a year where we're seeing trans identities targeted across our nation. There's over 100 bills that have been introduced in this year alone across our nation, targeting trans people, and in particular, trans youth. But in Vermont, we didn't have to deal with that. There was no pushback against the trans community. Instead, we looked at the breadth and depth of the LGBTQ community and said, you should never be blamed for a crime that is committed against you, especially when it is due to your identity. And to see that passed unanimously, I have to say, was the warmest welcome I could ask for coming into this year.
All right, so we have Governor Scott, who's a Republican, who's done a wonderful job with the COVID. You know, that's just great with that. So how was your interaction with him on this bill?
Well, I have to say, because we weren't in person, I didn't have much interaction with him in particular.
Oh, wait a minute. Governor Scott gave Taylor the pen that he signed the bill for. Oh, I've never gotten a pen from the governor. Okay, she gets a pen. So come on now.
Well, I got it in the mail, you know, and I mean, not to keep pushing on it, but he also did do a public video signing for it as well, where he gave recognition. So though it wasn't in person, it was still just such a warm interaction with the governor. And again, in a year where we're seeing other Republican governors having to step up against I don't want to say against their party in particular, but there is a lot of divisiveness happening. So to see just such a strong support for our community was just amazing.